Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am live with my regular Wednesday morning video. Today is my one layout 3 cards edition, so I tend to do this on the last Wednesday of the month. Today is an extra special one because I'm going to be featuring all Sale-A-Bration items. We have just 3 days left in Sale-A-Bration. Friday, February 28th is our last day. So that ends at midnight Mountain Time. Well, actually, technically 11:59 Mountain Time. So if you're here in BC like I am, that is still the cutoff. How they work it is a bit different. We get a little bit of an early access, but I don't think we get a longer time with it. When they cut it off, they cut it off. So yeah, you want to make sure to get your orders in before then to get your Sale-A-Bration items and make sure you get the things that you want. I know a few of our Sale-A-Bration items have actually already gone out of stock. So yeah, so I'm going to get started with creating. I'm going to zoom into my desktop, show you the layout that we're working with today, and then I've got 3 gorgeous cards ready to go for you. All right, so my one layout 3 cards, I've created a template of cards. They have card templates on page 22 of the Annual Catalogue, and I've just created a document that shows them a little bit bigger. And the one that I'm working on today is this nice one with the giant circle, the banner for the sentiment, and the little bow. So it's a really quick and easy card to create, and you can literally use it with any stamp set. So I'm going to put that out of the way, and we are going to start crafting. The first one that we are going to make is using the heart-shaped bundle. So this is a Sale-A-Bration product that you can get with $150 Canadian order. That's before shipping and taxes, but it is an amazing bundle because you have the gorgeous stamp set. But then you also have the dies. So you've got the beautiful heart, the flowers, the leaves. This cuts out the flowers here, and then a lovely banner to go with your sentiments. So it's a really, really nice bundle that you can get for free when you place a $150 order. So that's just kind of a nice perk to ordering right now. So the card that we have here is using that heart-shaped bundle as well as the Fresh Freesia seam binding. That is another one of our Sale-A-Bration items. All right. So this card only uses 1 ink. We're just going to use some Highland Heather, and that's all we need to create this one. So I have a circle here. You could use any circle. My go-to circles, the ones I keep at my desk, are my stylish shapes, and I do use these on the next 2 cards. But for this particular card, I used the Spotlight on Nature. And so it is a whole bunch of circles. There's one missing. It's with our 3rd card for today. So a whole bunch of circles with some really nice patterns along the edges of them. So that's the Spotlight on Nature dies. So that's what I've got here. And I'm going to take that heart image and my Highland Heather ink, and I am simply going to ink up my heart and stamp it right in the center of my circle. All right, there we go. So that is our Highland Heather heart all stamped. Now I'm going to use this heart again on my envelope. So I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper because I forgot to grab my chamois to clean up my glass desktop. I'm going to take my envelope and that heart, and I'm going to stamp it right across the enclosure of my envelope. So I've got a nice little decoration on my envelope now as well. All right. And still need my ink for one more thing. We still have to stamp our sentiment as well. So I'm going to take my little label here. This hello, this tiny, tiny hello is from the heart-shaped bundle. I am going to stamp it. Doesn't matter which end you stamp it on, but make sure you stamp it on one of the ends. Don't stamp it in the middle. And I'm going to show you why. This die is lovely, but it's a little bit too long for the shape that we've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the dies again. Where did I put them? Oh, they're there. I'm going to grab this die again, and we are going to make this an appropriate length for our sentiment. So I need my mini machine. Plates. There we go. I'm going to put my whole sentiment down, and then I'm going to take my die and I'm going to layer it over top so I can kind of feel it like fit into a groove where the sides are, like I can feel the die underneath, the die cut shape underneath the die. And I'm going to put that down so that my hello now looks centered inside that shape. And I'm not going to run it through the whole way. I'm just going to run it through until I feel it cut that tip. And then I'll pop it back out. And voila, I have a cute little shaped die that is appropriately sized for my sentiment. And in fact, the piece I have remaining for this particular sentiment is large enough I could stamp hello again and cut out a second one. So 2 for 1 with this label die. So that's just a fun little tip on using any kind of label like that, is you can go back in and double cut it to get the right length. All right, put that away so I don't lose it. Now we'll bring all of our pieces back in and we can start putting our card together. So I have got a thick basic white card base. Hello, Evelyn. Okay, let's try to actually fold this properly. There we go. And I'm going to try to remember to use my bone folder. There we go. All right, so with our thick basic white card base, I'm now going to just use liquid glue to attach another basic white layer, but this is just regular basic white. And I have embossed it with the Soft Waves embossing folder. I think this is my new favorite embossing folder. It just creates such a great background no matter what you are creating. It's either just subtle texture, waves, sky, like just you name it. It's just perfect. All right, so there we go. So I've attached that white layer to my card base. And now I am going to get my Spotlight on Nature die. Now the reason I wanted to use the Spotlight on Nature die instead of my Stylish Shapes dies was not because of size. The two circles actually are exactly the same. But what I wanted to do was have these little spaces here so that I can just tie a bow, because of course this is my Sale-A-Bration ribbon. I don't have a ton of it. So I wanted to be able to just tie a bow on here and not waste a whole bunch wrapping a whole layer around. And I didn't want to just attach it with a mini glue dot because I find sometimes then they fall off and I don't like that. So I've just popped that through one of the dashes on the border, tied a quick little crossover knot, and then I'm doing my bunny ears and making my bow. And this way my bow is going to be firmly attached to my card front. No way of it falling off. And no messy adhesives or wasted ribbon. There we go. Now I'm going to wait to trim the ends of my ribbon until I see my card put together. I always find that helps me decide how long I want them. So with that like that, I'm going to attach this now with dimensionals. Maybe. There we go. All right. So I'm going to do 4 on here. Basically, create a square on the back. And actually, I'm going to do 1 more in the center. It's a pretty big circle. All right. So just like that. Now we're going to attach our circle to the front and just kind of trying to keep your heart upright. All right. Oh, thanks, Evelyn. I'm always looking for ways to truly attach things to my cards. I'm not a big fan of just loose attachments. All right. So there we go. Just trim that one up. And now I am going to use some mini glue dots, or sorry, mini dimensionals, or you can use the trim, like the edge of your dimensionals, to attach my hello. So I'm going to put 2 minis on the back here. Just like that. And that's going to go in right there. So it's just above my bow, basically. All right, now over on this side, I'm going to use some mini glue dots to attach my flower and my leaves. So I'm going to start by taking my flower and putting it directly on top of a mini glue dot, and then peeling that off. And I'm going to put my leaves onto that mini glue dot behind this flower. There we go. Now I'm going to take my little bundle of leaves and flowers and stick it down over top of a second mini glue dot. So I've kind of created like a mini glue dot sandwich there for my leaves. And I'm going to pop it on here along the edge of my heart. Just like that. And then the finishing touch to this card is to grab one of, you could use any dots you wanted, but I am using the rainbow adhesive back dots. And we have the fresh freesia ones up here. So I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. Take one of those little mini fresh freesia dots and pop it on there. So it's just a nice tie-in with the ribbon to pull the fresh freesia over to our Highland Heather flower. And that is our first card complete for our 1 layout, 3 cards. So that's our first one. Okay, our second card is one of my favorite Sale-A-Bration items. It is featuring the friendly seagulls. So I love these guys. They were the first Sale-A-Bration item I ordered. They're definitely the one I have used the most. And yeah, I don't know. They speak to me. So here we go. This is the Friendly Seagulls stamp set. If you haven't seen it, I love you more than French fries. And these seagulls are just too hilarious. They're so fun. So that's what we're using today. So for card number 2, I have paired up these friendly seagulls with the paper from the Ocean Friends suite and the dots as well. These dots are called, oops, I don't know, I just lost a dot. The Sunny Day Iridescent dots. So, but I just lost one. Fell right off my sheet. Yikes. Don't know where it went. Oh, we'll have to find it later. All right, so this card is super duper simple, and you can see I have again used that Soft Waves embossing folder, but this time I used it on the circle for this card. So for this card, I did use the Stylish Shapes because I also wanted the little Stylish Shapes banner. Oh yeah, I know, Evelyn. I think a lot of us are fans of those seagulls. We've got tons of seagulls nearby. We live near the ocean and they're everywhere. Big French fry stealers too. All right, so I have got, again, a thick white card base. When you're making card bases, nothing beats the thick white cardstock. It just creates such a sturdy card, one that's not going to kind of like, I don't know, with the humidity we have here, like things tend to get soft and bend. So the thick white cardstock is great for preventing that. All right, so I am starting by creating a bow around this layer. So this is one of the sheets from the Ocean Friends Designer Series paper. It is amazing. Do you have seagulls near you, Evelyn? All right, and I'm going to wrap this around twice and then snip off over here so I have enough left to make a bow. So this is just some white twine from our basic twine pack. You get black, gray granite, I think a crumb cake in there, a vanilla, can't remember what else. There's a few different, they're all kind of neutral tones. Really nice pack. So I've wrapped that twice. I'm going to make a knot and then I'll tie my bow. So 2 bunny ears. And around, there we go. All right. So just a nice little bow here on the side. And I'll trim up that one end so it's equal to my other end. There we go. All right, now this layer can be attached to our card front. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue to do that. You can use whatever adhesive you like. All right, come on. I seem to be running out of glue a lot these days. I think I've been doing a bit too much card making. All right, there we go. Glue your fingers. There we go. Oh, at the North Sea, 400 kilometers away from your home. Oh my goodness. That is quite the distance away. Wow. Yeah, no, we're very lucky to be quite close to the ocean, well, and the river, or closer to the river. But only maybe 20 minutes to the ocean from where we are. So that's perfect. All right. So with that layer glued down, we can now actually, this I also glued down underneath my ribbon, so I can glue that down now as well. So the trick to doing these embossed shapes is to cut the shape first and then emboss it. If you emboss it first and then cut the shape, you'll flatten out your embossing a bit when you cut your shape. So I like to just do the shape cutting first and then emboss. You can fit more of them inside your embossing folder too when they're cut. All right. Oh, wow, an island without any cars. That's fantastic. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to set that to the side for a moment and do some of my stamping. So I am going to stamp my Hey Friend from our kit, from our stamp set, our Friendly Seagulls stamp set. I'm going to stamp Hey, whoa, yikes, sorry, that was really loud. I'm going to stamp Hey Friend on our little label. There we go. And I stamped that in Berry Burst. All right, so that's Berry Burst for that sentiment. You could also do a Melon Mambo, but just kind of trying to tie in all the pinks, right? Now I have got my little seagull and a scrap piece of paper. We're going to stamp him onto this paper and then color him and, unfortunately, fussy cut him. He's not that bad to fussy cut. And actually, while I've got him out, I'm going to stamp one on our envelope as well. There we go. So that is with Memento Black. All right, put that away. And we've got to color him. So coloring him can be as simple or as complicated as you'd like. I am using light Calypso Coral for his beak and his feet. And I'm using the fine tip end because I just find this space is just a little tight. There we go. All right. And then I am going to use Smoky Slate to color in his wings. So for the stripe, I'm going to use dark Smoky Slate. There we go. And then for the wing tip, I'm going to use light Smoky Slate. You can really switch this up and color him however you'd like. Do a blending, do just a really light layer of Smoky Slate everywhere. You know, these seagulls are a little dirty sometimes. And he, or maybe even she. Oh, yeah. Yep. I often use a he or a she. I don't know why. I tend to think of these seagulls as all being he's. But yeah, it. Yeah. All right. So now I am going to just fussy cut the seagull. There we go. So how fussy you get when you get to his beak is up to you. There is enough room to go right in if you want. I am choosing not to. Same with his legs. There is enough room to fussy cut right between his two legs, but I am not going to. I want to keep a little bit more structure to our shapes so that when I pop him up, he's not too flimsy. There we go. All right. So now that that's done, I'm going to bring my card base back in. My seagull's going to go on here with dimensionals. I'm actually going to use a mini dimensional at his feet and a regular dimensional at the head. And there we go. I'm just going to pop this on just for spacing right now so that I can see where to put my seagull. There we go. And then to attach my Hey Friend, I'm going to use 2 dimensionals on the back. So a full-size dimensional fits perfectly on here. You just want to make sure to put the flat edges. Yeah, so that fits perfectly. And then just like that. Now, you do have to push it down quite a bit because we've got those threads underneath and we want to make sure it grabs on. I actually had used mini dimensionals on this one and I'm finding it's kind of tilting forward. So I think I'm actually going to remove this one and redo it with full size. So if you ever have to remove dimensionals, you can actually just kind of roll them off. Kind of like, if you've got glue stuck to something and you can take like a bunch of glue and roll the glue over top of the glue to pick it up. Same thing with these dimensionals. You can just kind of roll them off and then use them to pick up the next bit of stickiness. All right, so we're going to redo this one as well. Just be a bit more secure with the full dimensional. There we go. All right, there, much better. All right, so we're not quite finished. As you can see, I've got some fish on here. Oh no, why did it, okay, froze for a moment. Interesting. All right, so I've got some fish on here, and then of course the sunny days dots. So our fish, it's one of the other images in our stamp set, in the Friendly Seagulls stamp set. So we're going to take that fish, and just like how I'd put an embellishment on, I'm kind of making a triangle. So like the rule of threes. Okay, and that was done in Calypso Coral down on the orange portion of this paper. And then we'll grab our Sunny Days dots. And oh, there it is. It didn't even fall off the sheet. That's why I couldn't find it. All right. So I'm going to use a mix of sizes because there's two sizes here. And I'm going to start with the pink ones up on the pink side of the card. And like I was talking about making that rule of threes, making those triangles, I'm going to make a triangle up here. Oh, come on down. There we go. So I've got my little pink triangle at the top. And then I'm going to make a little orange triangle down here at the bottom. And just like that. There we go. And that is how I finished off my card. So that is our second card for our one layout, 3 cards, Facebook Live today. So you can see that the 2 cards, although they have the same layout, are extremely different cards. All right, and then the third card I have for you today is my favorite. It is featuring the fruit salad designer series paper. So this is, I think, one of the most underrated items in our whole Sale-A-Bration offering. It is just some absolutely gorgeous designer series paper that you can use in so many ways. But one of my favorite ways has been to fussy cut it. So I'll just quickly show you. You can use just the straight up designer series paper. It has some really fun patterns. So this is one that I created with my card class just last week. And so it's just using the papers just as is, little squares. And yeah, it's just so easy to use. Today's card, though, is a whole lot of fussy cutting. I have taken the paper, I used one of the designs as our full background, and then I've taken the paper and fussy cut tons of little bits out of the paper. And this is our final card. Now, because this was a designer series paper, not a stamp set, I'm like, oh, what am I going to do for my sentiment? So I grabbed the Greetings for All Mix and Match Ephemera pack. And so in this pack, you get 2 sheets of 3 different designs. So there's 4 technically, but 2 designs on white and 1 design with black with the white print. And so I had a ton of sentiments to choose from. And so you just pop these out and create. So I chose to use on my first card the thanks right here. So I'll just come in here, pop that out. And we have our sentiment ready to go. No stamping needed. So this is a great way when you're working with one of those stamp sets that doesn't have sentiments with it, or you're working with all designer series paper like I am today. This is a great way to add a sentiment to your card without having to grab ink and a stamp set and everything. So you're not going to have to watch me fussy cut today. I have pre-done all of the fussy cutting. But basically, I just went through the different papers and cut out all of the different little pieces that I wanted. So you can just kind of pick and choose from your designer series paper. And then this paper, I was so sad because I do really like the pears. I actually have a pear cut out from a scrap to use on our card front. But I love this background. I don't know if you guys can really see the pattern there. It's just so pretty. So this yellow is, I believe it's meant to be Daffodil Delight, but it's so soft. It reminds me of one of our retired yellows, and I just absolutely love it. So before we attach this, where did my twine go? Oh, there it is. Rolled away on me. Before we attach this, I'm going to again wrap some twine around. This one comes from the 3-color pack. So you get Lemon Lolly, Flirty Flamingo, and Balmy Blue. So I'm going to use some Balmy Blue on this card, and just like I did on the last one, I'm going to leave a little tail, wrap it around twice, and another little tail before I snip. Okay. And so let's actually even that out a bit. There we go. Wrap. And I'll make my knots here. There we go. So I feel like I like this card because it's just got a very summery vibe to it, and we're finally getting warmer weather. It's supposed to go up to 15 degrees Celsius today. So it's going to be just gorgeous outside. I did get out to do some gardening on Monday, but it was not that nice, not that warm, I should say. And then it poured in the afternoon. But today is supposed to be fairly dry and 15, so I'm super excited. Longer days are coming. All right. So with that knot tied, I might end up moving it over a bit, and I might end up trimming the ends of these a bit, but we'll see. We'll wait until, there we go. I think it will move it over right away. There we go. So with this piece done, I'm confident that's where I want it. So I'm going to actually glue this down to my card base. And again, I just have a standard thick basic white cardstock base. So really keeping it simple here with our bases. And I'm going to grab my liquid glue. I'll just put a thin layer of glue on here. Thin layer might be all I can get. There we go. Time for a new glue bottle, I think. Oh, nope, there we go. The nice thing about these glue bottles is as long as you can get a little bubble, then you can spread it super thin. And that's actually better for putting your cards together anyways. It means you won't get glue streaks and globs, and you won't get glue leaking out the sides. Oop, don't go under there. There we go. All right. So with that DSP glued down, we can now start creating. So I actually created my whole centerpiece and then attached it to my card front. So I started with my banana, and I'm not going to use liquid glue for this. I want a hold that's just going to be fast and kind of immediate. So I'm going to grab a tape runner of some kind, Seal Plus, Seal, whatever you'd like. And I'm just going to start building up my little fruit salad here. So I've got my banana on one side and my pineapple on the other. So this is kind of going to create, I want my pineapple kind of off the edge. There we go. So that's going to create kind of like the base for me to build on. It does look like an embossing folder we had. It's probably why I like it so much. All right, now I'm going to add my pear in front of my pineapple. There we go. Now you'll notice I'm not really covering the whole back. I'm just doing quick little strips, just enough to hold these in place. But I can still get underneath the edges. So see, like that, I was able to tuck that orange under the edge. All right, now my little cantaloupe. Here we go. So I'm going to put my cantaloupe on that, on the little angle there. Then my little strawberry down here. And finally, my little kiwi. Oh, so little. There we go. All right, my little kiwi to fill in this little space. All right, and then my thanks I'm going to pop on with mini glue dots, but not until after this is on because I want to make sure I get my thanks straight. So I'm going to flip over my whole little fruit salad, grab some dimensionals, and I'm even going to pop one out here over into the bits of my pineapple. And in the center there. The one down there. There we go. All right. And when we put this down, I'm going to put it down over top of the twine I have on here. And just kind of tuck it in. And I want my pineapple standing up straight. So there we go. All right. So just like that. And now I'll put some mini dimensionals on the back of my thanks. There we go. And, oops, there we go. And when I put this down, I want to make sure it's running horizontally across my card so that it doesn't look crooked. All right. And I'm going to use it to cover up that little space down by my kiwi and my orange. There we go. Now I will give that one edge a little trim. There we go. And the last thing for this card is we're going to grab the Sunny Days dots again and pop a few onto the front here just to fill in some space. Just like that. So there we have our third card for our one layout, 3 cards Facebook Live. So I'm just going to bring these back in and show you the wide variety of ways that we can use this layout. So these are all Sale-A-Bration items. You can earn these ones with a $75 order and this one with a $150 order in Canada. And all of these go away on Friday night. I'd say somewhere around midnight is the last time you're going to be able to earn these when you place an order. So if you love any of these products, don't wait. Make sure you hop on over to my shop, place your order, and earn these things. And you can go back and watch replays, and I've got other cards posted for other ways to use all of these products. They have been just such a joy to work with for the last 2 months, and I'm so sad to see some of them go, especially that fruit salad paper. So much fun. Oh, thank you so much, Evelyn. You have a wonderful day as well. And I will be live again next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is actually the first Wednesday of the month. So I will have my card class to go all ready for you. And also make sure to watch later today. I will be posting about a new virtual card class that I'm going to be offering as well on March 29th, featuring the birthday celebration bundle. I have a card I can show you. It's not one from our from the card class. If you are part of my in-person monthly card class, close your eyes, because this is actually one of the cards we're going to be creating. But here you go. This is using the birthday celebration stamp set and dies and the Wildflower Birthday Designer Series paper. And so that is something similar to a card you might find in my upcoming card class. We'll be making 6 cards together, and all the details will be posted this afternoon. So if you don't subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe now so that you'll get the email about that later. Otherwise, there will be info posted here on Facebook as well as on my blog. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and yeah, check out my blog, stampinwithleah.ca, to keep up to date on everything. It's a little bit more reliable than Facebook sometimes, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye.